what I want to do is to read from the new book. I was going to say Sensing Shades of Reality, but it's not, because that one's done. This is from the last chapter of How to Change Your Karma. After all of the discussion about what is karma, all of the many, many kinds of karma, the ramifications of it, the dilemma, the good things, the bad things. And so we finally get to the actual part of how are we going to do this. Advice all throughout the book, of course, but this is the primary chapter where we're going to put it all together and discover methods that work for us in how to change our karma for this life and in future lives. Because this is the holy month of Sakadawa. Not only that, but this is the 20th anniversary of my arrival. So I want to talk about that separately, but it's a pretty important topic for me right now. Back to how to change your karma. And right near the beginning of this chapter, I want us to remember why we want to change our karma. Another way of asking, how can I improve my karma, is to ask, how can I increase my capacity for joy? This is a reasonable inquiry because when we increase joy, harmful dynamics are absent. If this is so important for our well-being, while we are feeling joyful, we should probably know where that state of mind is located so that we can feel it whenever we wish. On the other hand, when we are feeling joyless and having a hard time experiencing higher happiness, where did our happiness go? We feel joy or lack of joy primarily in our heart center, but is it located there? No. Our joy is located in our capacity to generate it. Joy is located in no place at all. It is non-existent until we manifest it. How do we get to the improvement of karma? How do we get to the improvement of karma? By increasing our experience of inner sacred joy. It is experienced through a step-by-step process that creates virtuous and clean states of mind, such as the various joys described in ancient and tantric scriptures. We can, of course, experience joy spontaneously, without knowing the steps to generate that state of mind, only because we cannot consciously recognize the causes and conditions, because the steps are all hidden within the subtle mind, a product of internal causes and internal conditions coming together. They are gestated within a secret part of our own mind that we cannot experience until that spontaneous feeling of heightened wonderment and innocence arrives to the conscious mind, which is then identified as the experience of something called joy. Perhaps an inner mind which holds awareness stable in body and mind and some portion of our deeper identity has temporarily become so little troubled by confusion or negativities that it has become a repository for innocence. And this form of innocence very easily holds close the causes and conditions of joy. It is not that it actually has joy, but it is easily capable of joy. The causes and conditions of this special joy are held so nearby that it bursts out in joy like effervescent bubbles in champagne. So I could go on, but I want you to know that this is only my first writing, that I still have not edited it, so it will change to a certain degree. But this is something that there's no reason to want to become enlightened or to even to improve ourselves unless we feel that it is going to bring us some personal benefit in well-being, joy, the experiences that we are looking at. Our experiences are our life possessions, not our actual external possessions, what kind of car we drive, what kind of house we live in. These are the things that we can accumulate, but our actual well-being cannot be lodged in our possessions. It has to be in our experiences. And so to change karma, because like I was a bad person and now I'm going to be a good person, this is not the best reason to want to change our karma. So I address it near the beginning of this particular chapter, and of course it goes on and on. So I'm happy to share that. So this is my new computer, very pretty. Condro bought me the cover. You know, it was so funny this morning, or yesterday. I have this new computer has a facial recognition, and it's like my little friend. That when I open it up, it has this little blinky eye, and then it sees me, and it says, "Welcome, Domo Geshe Rinpoche, hello," like that, and somehow that makes me feel happy. It's like right there, so happy to see me, and I'm happy to be there. Anyway, today is, this is from Sensing Shades of Reality. And so for May 30th, and this month is, the topic is karma. And so this is three methods of change, May 30th. We are able to change our karma in three effective ways: by mental effort, by restraining our reactions to negative events, and by inspiring our minds to higher standards. Mental effort forces us to follow correct actions by sheer discipline, using our discernment of right and wrong. Although this is clear-cut, it is also the most difficult way to change ourselves. That is because we are still being influenced by habitual wrongdoing and by living in an environment that may wrongly stimulate us and damage our good judgment. In addition, the stress of always needing to do the right thing might increase anger or other afflictive emotions, which might ultimately be directed toward others or inflicted upon ourselves. Restraining reactivity means giving ourselves space to think and to gather facts before acting or blaming others for our problems. This is the next most difficult method, but with practice we can train ourselves not to jump to wrong conclusions. The actual karmic consequence occurs at the point where exhaustion of the karmic event meets the energetic instigation of its next form. Therefore, the karmic consequence is dependent on our response in the karmic at this karmic intersection. If our reaction to an event is unskillful, it will not dissolve the karma, but instead give it more energetic power to continue. The easiest way to change our karma is by inspiring ourselves to greater effort. We might gain incentive by reading about the lives of the great sages. We can also read and contemplate Dharma instruction from the Buddha or Dharma in teachings of our modern time to motivate ourselves to put into practice the good qualities they describe. This method pleasantly lifts both the outer and inner minds to a higher platform of consciousness, a place where virtue, kindness, and compassion are natural and not forced at all. Each of these techniques is called a Dharma method. So, our Breakfast Club participants are on Zoom here next in front of me. I'm looking at a number of faces and screens. And so we're going to continue our Dharma, our Breakfast Club discussion of this particular point. But I would like to say that in general, your mother was right. That all of the lovely things that she told you to do, and especially all of the things that she told you not to do, were really Dharma methods. That on some secret part of her mind, she must have been listening to the Buddha or to enlightened being when she told you, don't do that, don't be like that, don't say that to your friend, be nice, look proper, don't walk like that. When you walk through a doorway, don't touch the woodwork on the sides of the door. All of the funny advice, all of the things that she told you and that you told your children. Really, this vast world is entirely filled with Dharma advice. And those things which contaminate our consciousness are really such as, oh, everybody does it. It doesn't matter. Nobody's looking. All of these, our world is filled with adharma, anti-dharma advice as well. And it is only up to ourselves to really listen to the Dharma of our world and to the teachings of the sages, and don't listen to the adharma of this world. Be kind, be careful, even if others are not. Please be careful. Thank you.